I try not to swim when I'm drunk. Bad things happen.
I feel like that's a bad idea.
It's a good story, though.
Welcome to DungeonBrew as we continue our adventure in the Dance of Madness, and we are joining our investigators as they spent quite a bit of time fighting some green creatures that have been kind of being taken over. We had all sorts of little animals that were trying to attack them. A couple people got bit and seem to have something going on with them. They don't know what quite yet, but after they cleared the dock, or at least they escaped and set most of it on fire, they decided to head up to the resort and see what was going on up there. So we are going to join them. They have drove up to the resort, and as they get there, they see this building that has about 2 stories, and it's made of stone brick on the outside that they can tell. There's some big double doors in the front, a parking lot off to the north, which they would see some vehicles, but when they get there, they find there's nothing, nobody's in the vehicles, they don't see anyone around, and the place looks very deserted. They approach to the front doors, and they're going to be opening them up and heading in, and we're gonna just start with them walking into the Whispering Woods resort. So you guys have come up, you've pushed open the doors, and you come to this lobby that when you open up the doors, it looks like there has been something that's gone on. There's tables overturned, there's papers everywhere. You also see what looks like blood, but you don't see any bodies. You see several doors that are going off on either side of the room, but other than that, you don't necessarily notice much as you first open the door.
Lights on?
Oh yeah, we'll say lights are on.
Lights are on. Lights are on, but nobody's home. Okay.
Yeah.
So we walk into a lobby. Is there like a front desk?
So yeah.
Is there
As you all walk in, you will hear a sound sounds like something is kind of behind a desk, a counter off to the west as you're walking in, and
okay.
You'll hear kind of a shuffling, and then you'll hear this kind of soft voice, and it'll be like, "Over here."
I'm gonna look back at the
investigate.
Group. Yeah, I'll shrug my shoulders and go over there.
And I'm gonna gesture with my hand towards the detective and the police officer, and I will follow behind.
Yeah, I'm with him.
So as you approach, you will see someone laying on the ground. They will have they'll be kind of a familiar sight. You will see robes like you saw of a Dreamwalker that you saw on the train. But there will be someone in robes. You will see that there is blood around them. Their robes are kind of torn up, and you do see hoof thieves. You're pretty sure this is a Dreamwalker laying on the ground. As you come around, he'll kind of motion over to you with his hand.
I'm gonna pull out my gun.
Another demon.
See if I hear that voice saying, "Now's the time."
Yeah, and you're not hearing anything.
I'll move to investigate the wound.
I'll go over to the individual.
Okay.
I'm not gonna investigate, but I'm just gonna go over to him.
Okay.
Can I just kind of look around and see if there's any other creatures or any other like
sure.
What kind of get a sense of what happened here? Like, did he drag himself in there? You know what I mean? Just like what's going on?
So roll a I'll have you just roll like a spot hidden. Okay, 38 for success.
Yep.
So Declan, as you look around, you definitely looks like there was some type of struggle in here, and you will you'll see that it looks like this Dreamwalker was in some type of fight towards the middle, because you see where the blood has kind of been smeared where he dragged himself behind the desk, or the kind of the counter there, and it you notice that some of the doors do look broke, or one of the doors over to probably like the south looks like it's been broke. There's holes in it that maybe something went through, and so it looks like things have been moving around in here, but you don't see anything now, and you don't hear or really notice anything in this room other than this guy.
Okay, I would like to draw my pistol and just go kind of stand over by that door to keep an eye out as I listen in to what else is going, like listen to the conversation from there.
Yeah, and also if you wanted to, like there's furniture around, like even tables that have been overturned. If you wanted to slide a table or something over that hole, you would see those things, and you could put that in place just to kind of slowly barricade it. Yeah, like he gets, every time he gets ready to talk, he's like, come here, and then you're just like, eh!
Yeah. It'll take me a couple of minutes. I'm a scrawny old man, but I get it.
I'm not so much like interested in like the wounds, like medically. Are there any wounds on him that look like it was more ritualistic? Was it sacrifice, or was it? I mean, clearly there was a fight. I can put that together without paying attention to it, but I want to see if there's anything based on what we saw in Chaplin.
So as you look closer at this Dreamwalker, and you're looking at him, you don't notice that the wounds look like ritualistic or anything like that, but you do notice that green stuff that you see that other people have in your party that have been bit or something, it has consumed quite a bit of his body. And I mean that he like his arm will be all covered kind of in green, and it's kind of starting to change. And you'll notice even his face has some stuff starting to spread on his face. Yeah, come. He'll tell you. Yeah. Oh, who are you?
We're just passing through, friend.
Ha.
Came looking for some answers. Looks like you've had better days.
I have, but you are obviously more than just passerbys. You can see me, and you're still standing here, not running.
Yeah, well, we've seen some wild stuff. So, what happened to you? Where's everybody?
The place was attacked by these creatures, and they have been taking people away.
Little green things.
Yes, so
Little
you've
skunk.
seen them as well.
Some, yeah, down by the docks. Don't you guys usually travel with like a pack of you guys?
So you are somewhat informed. I am here outside of my group to check on some things. But there's a more urgent matter at hand. Obviously, you have seen one of my kind before, because you guys, while you may have pulled your weapons in fear, you didn't freak out completely. So we can we can pass over me trying to explain who or what I am. We were I can't do anything more, and as most likely I will be dying soon. But you need to put a stop to this.
To what?
The owner of this place meddled with something he did not understand. If you go into the central courtyard, you'll find what they call the Whispering Woods. It's this strange plant-like tree, whatever it is. It is something that the person who owned this place has been cultivating and trying to grow. But it's not anything from this world. He didn't know it, but it has its own intelligence. He is using magic to sustain it, because otherwise it couldn't grow here. Something has happened to the man that was in charge of this, and he'll kind of point, and you'll see a post or a painting on the wall, and you'll see this individual. And that's man that owns this place, Igor. He went missing several days ago. And while he's been gone, that's when everything started to increase. I had come here because I was told of some disappearances. I know that there were others of my kind coming to also investigate, but they have not arrived yet. But you need to you must find the source of the magic and remove it from the tree. If you do, it should kill it, and this will be done. The tree can't survive. But if you wait too long, the tree will find a way to essentially stabilize. It's consuming this land around it to make it so that it can survive on its own, and once it does, it will continue to grow and consume. Those creatures you saw will spread farther than just this swamp.
Why do you care about stopping it? What's Igor? What should be with Igor?
He thought he was doing something that would make him money. But he messed with something he shouldn't have. We are trying to stop it because this thing will destroy the things it comes across. It'll just continue to expand. This thing is as much an enemy to me as it is to you.
Is the magic that's supporting this hinky dingus somewhere within this resort? Or is it located elsewhere?
Why are we listening to a demon? Is that what we do now, is do the bidding of demons?
I'm all about shooting it. I'm just waiting for it to finish its oration.
He's technically not a demon. Anyway,
You must go.
answer the man's question.
If you go to the central courtyard, you'll find that there's a tunnel that leads down underneath. There's a series of caves. I haven't been down there, but I know that they're there. At the base of the cave, or once you get to the bottom, is where this thing began from, and the magic is being used to sustain it. And he'll start to slowly reach inside his coat or his kind of.
Careful there now. I'm gonna raise my gun.
And he's gonna slowly pull out, and he'll have like a book, and he'll kind of gently toss it, or as best he can.
I'll take it from him.
Okay. As you pick up the book, you will see it appears to be a journal of some sort with entries, and you're going to see that it's from Igor. It appears to be from him, and it's just recording observations from essentially since the time that he kind of became a guardian. And you can thumb through it pretty quickly, and you're just going to see different things where he talks about traveling, looking for objects and artifacts to collect and utilize. You'll find also some passages that hints that Igor is not his real name, and that from those entries, it seems like he was very much a kindred heart with con men, that he really liked a lot. Or you'll see names of familiar con artists from the times and things like that he will mention. But it goes into that, but it also mentions that he finds this seed of some sort that he utilizes, and he eventually begins to cultivate, which is the start of his resort. And it talks about how he grew it, but it will also mention that he had to feed the tree, and essentially that he was using people to feed the tree.
Does he have anywhere in this journal the list of those names?
No.
Does he have anywhere in that journal where those people were held?
Yeah, I would say that there was some places on the property that they would hold the people in, and then it describes that there's a tunnel, essentially they lead them down into, and there were different chambers in the tunnel that they would take people to the tree, and essentially they say they fed the people to the tree. But as you're looking, you'll also find out that while they said they fed them to the tree, it appears that the tree doesn't necessarily kill them. It essentially, they begin to be kind of absorbed into the tree. And part of then what you hear from the tree is the various, it is able to kind of use the acoustics of somehow the whispering you hear are all the people that have been kind of brought into this tree. And you can hear the sounds from the tree that sounds like whispers, but it's really from the people it has been kind of absorbing.
I'll hand the book, the journal, I guess, to Theo as well. Theo, you make anything of this tree? Mr. Butler Man?
Suppose I'll take it and take a look through it. Can I roll like a cult or something to see if I know anything about it?
I don't know that you're going to get anything from an occult. It is just basically him writing a journal and talking about various stages of the growth. The only thing you might find as you get to the last part, if you're thumbing through, you start to see that he's growing concerned about that the tree seems to be growing beyond his control, and that they've been discovering that there's kind of roots branching out that they didn't know about, and maybe it's reaching out farther and could be having an impact on the land around them.
That doesn't sound good.
Okay.
Look, you'll need to hurry, but I can give you a way to help so that you can get to there easier. If you've met with the green things, you'll know that they're difficult to kill or even to stop. They keep coming back.
Fireworks pretty good.
For the ones that have still their old form, but once they become completely consumed, the fire doesn't scare them like the others. If you've been wondering how I've been left here and not taken by the others, that once you've been exposed to so much of the stuff, and he'll raise his hand to kind of show you how his body is changing, they seem to leave you alone.
Way to get rid of that stuff?
It should be. Once the tree dies, it'll go away. It's all linked to the tree. If the tree dies, everything else will die and it'll quit spreading.
Do I know the guys have been bitten? Because I wasn't around when they got bit, so I
I
was
know
like on
that.
the other side of the dock burning stuff down.
Theo was examining.
Yeah, Theo was
decline,
examining.
Okay, that's
so
right.
I don't know how public that was. Did we go off into the woods
I don't know.
together, Theo?
Well, Theo would have
Turn your head
checked
off.
to make sure everyone was not injured or had the green shit, so he wouldn't have been quiet about it.
Okay. All right. Well,
Have anybody in your group been bit or have it?
Yeah, a couple of little rodent things bit us.
It's probably not enough in your body yet to ward them off, but if you were to get more in you, you all would be able to pass by the creatures, and they should leave you alone.
Are you suggesting that we willfully infect ourselves?
that's
It
what I'm
sounds
saying.
So just what you would expect from a devil.
The last one of these feckers we met tried to kill us.
I imagine this would be going a lot different if he wasn't, laid up like this.
Right.
Also trying to argue that if we take care of the tree, that the infection will stop spreading. I prefer that this one doesn't live to see that come to be a reality.
Right. I
He'll
also
kind
don't
of.
want him to live to turn into one of the green feckers either.
He's gonna reach his hands up and kind of pull open his robe and show you. His
Look what he's
chest.
offering us.
He's
Put
gonna
away
pull-
your temptations, demon.
Give us.
And you're gonna see that much of his body has been consumed by the green stuff, and he's gonna be. I don't have much time, and you can kill me to put me out of my misery if that's what you want to do. But this is a threat to the things that I believe in, and this is a threat to you. And if if you don't stop it, then this will spread.
What exactly does a devil believe in then?
He will actually chuckle. I'd give you a book that explains what we believe, but we don't have time, and I don't see that you appear to be the sort to want to believe in what I believe.
Oh, actually, I think I have one of those books.
Oh,
I'll pull out the book from the train.
Yes. I imagine then that was the one of mine that you encountered, and I believe that you guys said you killed.
No,
Well-
he said he tried to kill us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Never met a-
considering that you're alive, then he must be dead.
Every zealot and cult fanatic I know is out peddling books. I want to know, is it that you're saying that Igor has absconded the property? Or Toby Maguire, or whoever this is?
Well, my thought is that the tree has somehow taken control of him, keeping him alive so that it can feed off the magic.
So we might come down to see him displayed with roots inside him and all that.
Possibility. I haven't seen what's happening down there. I wanted to make my way once I found his journal and paper and other papers, but I was attacked up here.
Other papers. There's more other than this?
He'll like, don't shoot me. He'll reach into his robe and there'll be just other papers, and it might have like just different diagrams, or it's nothing really more.
Y'all are real intent on eating the devil's pudding, aren't you?
Well, didn't we come here to figure out what was stealing people down here anyway?
And to stop it.
Mostly just concerned where the source of information is coming from.
Well,
I mean, he gave us Igor's book. Not necessarily all his word.
can't look a gift horse in the mouth, Declan.
You can if it's a devil.
Again, you know what? Never mind. It's fine. It's fine. Before you go passing on,
Hang on a bit longer.
just hang on a second.
Got another question.
Go one more question.
This is an epic Shakespearean death scene,
Right.
or like Beowulf, where he's just like spouting off 30 lines of poetry. Wait,
Yep.
somebody else needs to come and talk to you. Okay.
I mean, so he's
Doesn't
not
he turn
dying
in-
because he's bleeding. He's just dying because the thing is consuming him.
Yeah.
Doesn't he turn into the thing though? Like that
Yes,
doesn't
he
doesn't
will.
he die? He becomes the green monster.
I don't
Right.
know that he necessarily
Yeah.
dies to become it, but he will no longer be himself. He'll
Right.
be-
He becomes
Just waiting to
Swamp
light a
Thing.
torch.
yeah, we really need to shoot him in the face before that
yeah,
happens.
that's
Well-
fine. I just
Got-
I want to ask one more thing.
Who is your daddy? And what does he do?
Sort of, yes. So, are the Canstons far behind you?
So you know of the families in Boston,
Yeah.
and you want to know what? They're far behind me?
Where are they playing in all this?
They're one of the families that connect with us. You seem to know a lot already.
Well, won't do you any good.
I know.
This guy on fire yet?
Whatever
I'm
we
not-
need to do. Needs to be a slow burn.
Slow.
I mean, I don't have
Yes.
any accelerant, just a bunch of torches.
Jack will go ahead and light a cigar.
I feel well. I mean, if we just—he's not a green thing yet, so we should be able to kill him with a bullet through the face.
We don't want to risk it, like,
Right.
taking over his body after he's dead and coming back as a
I
green
see.
thing.
Well, there's this table that I dragged over. We could use that for kindling.
There you go.
Are you
Yeah.
guys build a fire for him, and like while he's still somewhat conscious, be like,
We're
gonna
doing
build
him a favor.
fire and setting you on fire while you're living.
Yeah. I need
Well,
to get
we'll
a hold
shoot him first.
in the leg.
That's a kindness that I wouldn't do.
Okay, I guess we're not.
We're gonna shoot him in the legs and then put him on a spit.
Jesus.
Jesus
You guys
has
are gonna have
nothing
to
to do
make
with this.
some. I feel like you guys are gonna have to make some sanity rolls here.
We've already failed it.
So, he will again, as you guys are, look, you need to make sure that you are all infected, and you'll be able to move past them. Otherwise, you'll draw their attention, and there's probably more down there than what you're able to handle.
What exactly is it that they are identifying to recognize infection? Is it a smell? I mean, we could strip off pieces of your body and rub it on our clothes, right?
Don't want to do that.
I'm not a fan of that, Simon.
I
What
don't
is wrong
think,
with you?
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying
that-
it's better than getting infected with a disease when you don't know if you're going to be able to defeat the tree. We've all seen The Walking Dead. We just put the blood on your clothes and walk through the zombies. Can't we
What
just
the
put
hell
the
is
fun?
Walking Dead?
Can't we just put the fungi on our clothes and walk through them? Why do we have to infect ourselves? I'm asking a question.
Look, I don't know what you have to do. All I know is that they've walked past me and they haven't attacked me. I saw some fighting, and yes, they might have gotten splattered with the stuff on them, and they were attacked. So somehow they have some way of knowing ones are infected. Maybe it's a smell, maybe it's a sight thing. I don't know.
We gotta go find a porcupine to bite us.
Maybe he's just a demon who's lying to us.
It could be.
As intent as you all are on killing me, you could probably just get some ooze from the stuff coming off of me to infect you more.
You want us to eat it?
You can do that or rub it on a wound. Look.
Poor Todd.
Just at least shoot me before you burn me.
I believe Simon said he's going to shoot you in the leg. So, got you covered.
You're welcome.
My mind is that of Declan's, where I'm not sure that we can trust this thing exactly. He may just want to get us all infected so we join whatever army he has, because he has no more time left. And there's actually no cure to this.
Is anything this guy's, like, making any sense to me?
Like insight or anything?
Yeah, inside a
we
cult,
can roll?
something like... I get the concept, I don't know.
Right.
I have psychology.
I think that things would make sense somewhat to you because if you remember, you tried to use your sight,
Yeah.
and these creatures were not showing up as magic, but they felt like there was something wrong, and this idea that they're from this plant or whatever it is from another world would, I think, somewhat resonate with what you've seen. Like it's not out of the realm of possibility, and. As far as you know, like the Dreamwalkers, even as a cult, are not like out to just kill everyone in sight. They have their own interests, their own values, and so it's very likely they could see this thing as a threat that they would be responding to. And even the information, the letters that you have from the Dreamwalkers seem to say that Igor was messing with things he shouldn't have, and that they were concerned about him losing control and the people going missing. So they were sending someone to follow up and even do away with him if they felt like there was something wrong, which was information you all had.
Which I'm sure if the other dogfucker and the rest of his compatriots had showed up here, they would have been very amicable towards us.
Right, but they were probably the reinforcements he was waiting
Oh, no, I mean, I know that they were.
Yeah.
Which is, now strung halfway across Louisiana. Because that's normal in the South.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been established. It's known.
Yeah. Alright, so... Jack will speak up a little. I mean, it's crazy, but... the theory kind of holds water.
Have Theo or Declan felt any strangeness from their infection? Do they feel any weird sensations? They're lightheaded, fever?
They have noticed anything. I will say that probably in the time that's passed, you will notice that the it does seem to be spreading a bit.
Losing function in the arm or hand or anything?
Not losing any function, but it's in comparing yourself to the Dreamwalker, like his body looks like it's been consumed, and stuff is changing into something else. And so it's more like right now it looks like it's an infection spreading, but it isn't necessarily taking over or starting to consume anything for you all.
Can he tell
just
us
kinda wanna go take a mud
what
bath.
degree he had to be infected before they started ignoring him?
I don't know that he would necessarily have known. And
How long ago were you first bitten?
I've
How long
I've
you been laying here?
About probably a day and a half.
Oh. So we're on the clock, but we gotta wait. Well, fuck it. Jack will take out his knife, cut his arm.
And you'll
And
see
then-
just this green ooze comes out. He actually doesn't seem like he feels pain with it.
And then I'll cut my arm.
Good thing you like cutting yourself.
Yeah.
And rub your cuts together.
And rub my cuts together.
And you're going to feel a burning sensation kind of spread in your arm. And
And you have gonorrhea.
I have Canoria now. Yeah. So I'm not gonna put my arm on his arm. I'm gonna take my knife and just kind of like with this green crap and then smear it on my arm.
Okay.
On the wound. And then I'm gonna hand my knife to Theo.
I'm already
Oh, you've
bit,
already been
man.
bitten.
yeah.
Simon's the only one left.
Simon is torn. Like, I know you want me to do this, Todd, but I don't think Simon would do this. I think Simon would sit up here in the hotel and be like, have fun. Good luck, guys.
And then Jack's gonna light a cigarette.
Like, I know this is what I should do, but I don't even know that my character would do this. This sounds fucking insane.
Yes, it does. Which is why Jack did it.
I mean, Declan definitely would not, but he's already infected, and I think that he might be the most infected of anyone at the moment, so it's kind of superfluous. But if Declan were healthy and given the option of doing this, he would not do it.
I don't think Theo would have done it either. I think he would have opted to risk it just going forward.
Yeah,
Jack
I don't
is
know
just
what-
like, screw it.
if you want a handhold me, I'll do it, Todd. But I think that Simon would more likely crush this guy, take the blood and put it on his robes and wear the robes and see if it works.
And you can...
I think that's what he would. And if I get killed doing it, you can kill my character. But I am pretty sure
No,
that he would.
That
He would
seems
rather.
fair.
He would rather die than do what Jack just did.
Okay.
I mean,
So Simon is going to look at Jack, just bewildered by his choice. I'm going to look around the room for like maybe a antique typewriter and drop it on this guy's head to kill him. And then I am going to
Jack's sitting there holding a knife, like,
and then I'm going to strip off his robe, make sure that it is well coated on the outside of the robe with the blood, and then I will put that on. After I take off my very fancy suit jacket and lay it somewhere so I can wear that later.
Okay.
If we leave through the front door.
Jack will clean off his knife and put it away.
I would
Yeah,
ask if you had any more questions for him, but his head got smashed with a typewriter, so...
You didn't even know there was a typewriter in the room, but damn it, it happened.
There is now.
I found it. I went searching.
He didn't even need luck.
Or a
So
spot hidden, just nothing. Damn typewriter.
so you're going to... Okay, after you smash him, you take his robes. Are you guys, like, setting his body on fire?
Yeah, Theo said
I
it
think
was.
CEO said he was,
Okay,
yeah.
so you've started a fire now in the resort.
Yeah, take the body off.
So you're gonna make your way then to the inner courtyard. I will share this. We're not really using the map, but I will share it so you kind of get an idea or what you're seeing in the inner courtyard. You walk around. You're gonna look, and the creatures don't seem to be interested in you that are there, and you will be able to look around.
Sorry, I was responding to kids. You said we're moving by creatures and they're ignoring me.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I don't, are you guys going to potentially try to go close to them?
I mean, I will.
Oh,
That was the whole point of this.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. If you walk in, you see them in a room. Are you going to? Oh, let's go walk over, see if we can pet them, or are you going to be like, hey, let's just keep our distance to see if they attack us and just move on?
I'm going to keep distance and use these guys as a nice body shield around me and just trail behind them.
Yeah, I could walk up to one. Not like super close. Like,
yeah. As you walk up, they don't seem
10, 15
to,
feet.
They might like kind of hiss at you, but then they back away and they just
Your turn, Simon.
I have no interest in frenching the creatures.
Okay.
I say we head towards the tunnels wherever they are and find this tree.
All right.
So you guys will head to the inner courtyard, and when you get in there, you'll kind of open the door, and immediately when you open the door, you will hear this what sounds like whispering, and it's just this hush kind of whatever. You're just hearing this whispering that's going through, and as or not necessarily the wind, because it's kind of on the inside, but you'll see that the branches and stuff do kind of move as if there was wind blowing, but you don't feel any wind. And there's these strange looking trees. There's a strange looking trees. Like, you see what looks like a trunk and everything, but then there's these strange like ball-like things, and some of them are blue and some of them are yellow, and it just kind of gives off this you're not really sure what to make of it. Like, the whispering doesn't necessarily sound terrifying, even though maybe my attempt to do the whispering may have sounded a little more terrifying, but it's kind of this kind of strange feeling. And probably if you didn't know that there were creatures trying to kill you and this tree might be connected to trying to kill you, it might actually be kind of neat to be here. But you walk around and you will eventually kind of find what looks like a little kind of a hatch kind of thing that is locked off, or what would normally be locked off, but it's not locked. And you're approaching this. One thing you would notice, though, you will have come across some people that appear to have been consumed.
By the tree?
Well, not consumed, like by the infection. That they are no longer human, and they move about. They don't show any interest in any of you, but you would have seen some people that looked completely consumed or just no longer present. They're just taken over.
I have a question.
And you have a question?
Can I listen to the whispers?
Sure.
Can I hear what they're saying?
When you, I guess, roll listen. Let's see first how well you can listen. You might.
He's pretty old. He's got bad ears.
Yeah. But you rolled pretty well. You did
It's a
28.
hard success.
When you listen at first, you can't necessarily make out. But as you really start to kind of, it's not so much that you can make out what they're saying, but you start to notice that as you really listen to these whispers, they don't give you the kind of good vibes or kind of this neat thing. They sound like they're they don't sound like there's joy or anything in them, and it's hard to kind of put them in words, but you don't get a good vibe from these sounds. And I think by what you've learned, these are the whispers or the voices being kind of cast out by the tree of people being consumed by it.
Yeah, which is what the guy said. I just wasn't sure if there were actual words that were coming through from the whispers, if there was anything being said.
Yeah, no, you don't necessarily notice there's anything being said.
Okay.
You'll get to the hatch. Are you guys going to open it and go down?
Can we see? Like when we open the hatch, can we see down there?
When you open the hatch, you'll see kind of this soft, like, green glow.
Yeah, I'll go down.
Okay.
I'm going to let the officers head first to do their detective work.
All right.
I'm gonna pull out my pen light when we get in there.
Okay, so everyone should, except for Simon, he does not have this on him. Well, he does, but there's no points in it.
Excuse
You
me.
have this unknown on your skills. I
Yeah.
need Jack, Theo, and Declan to make a roll.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. 80, 44, and a 74.
All
We
right.
did well, guys. Good job, man.
It was 10%. So
if each of you will
yeah.
go in and unlock it and change it to 15.
No, I don't like the sound of that. Done.
Just
Alright.
occurred to me, Jack, as we're traveling through here, it might be a good idea for me to hang on to the book of Ipskus while we're moving along in case you don't make it.
Yeah, I tell you what, once you can actually say the name, I'll consider that.
Ibiscus, Ibachi, Ishnis.
Nabisco.
Go on, Bo.
The thing with the birds and the claws.
It doesn't have that either. So I'm going to keep going down this tunnel.
All right. So you all should now be in the tunnel. Can you just see like a narrow passage?
yeah.
All right. Then it's working. Okay. As you get down, there'll be a soft glow from some of there'll be like moss or stuff growing on the walls that will kind of have this light glow that you can see down the tunnel. But other than that, it's just it's a rocky face, and this part of the tunnel seems, fairly dry. You do hear some noises in the distance. You do hear things that sound like they might be moving around, but you also in the distance hear what sounds like running water.
So we're moving down a tunnel that's about 20 foot wide with some lichen on the sides. It is giving off a little bit of light, and we can see like roots and greenery and moss kind of growing the further down that we go.
Correct.
And then it's opening
that
up.
room on the left as we're traveling up. I'll go ahead and poke my nose into, shining
Right.
my light around to try and offer more illumination, see what's going on.
So as you get into this room, you will see that you will see some creatures moving around, and just kind of moving around the tree. And on the tree itself, as you look, you will see almost like you'll see what looks like I would say more like it looks not necessarily more like a root that's just going through the ground and all the way up into the ceiling. And in there, you will see what appears to be limbs and stuff sticking out of it. You might see like a part of a hand or a foot, and various places where it looks like there might be a body or a person that was in this or that's in this tree. And as you get down here, you will hear even increased amounts of the whispers, but it has a different sound down here. It's almost like this. It almost has like a melody to it when you're down here in this chamber of what you're hearing. Not anything that is pleasant, but it does have just I don't know. It's this strange sound that the whispers are coming through. And I'm going to have you all make a sanity roll.
Declan had a success with a 7.
All right.
Ooh. Jack
It's
with
like-
a 4-star success, whatever that's called.
Yes,
I rolled
that's
a 1.
You got a 1 though. That's so you will not take any sanity damage from it, Jack. Theo, you will take 2 points of sanity damage. And let's see here. That was Theo.
Yeah, Simon and Theo both had a 1-star success.
Yep. So Simon, you will also take 2. Okay. And Declan, you will take 1 point. Are any of you like really looking at the tree?
I'll look at the tree.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so
probably
make me a
struck by it.
spot hidden. You all can make it. And success on everyone. So we got a 43, a 57, a 55, and a 36. As you are all observing this tree and looking, you're actually going to notice that occasionally the body parts move.
Really do.
Yeah, the even the foot will kind of move every now and then, or the fingers will kind of. It's not like it's more sporadic movement. Like the hand will just kind of.
Simon, why don't you go shake his hand?
I'd first like for Theodore to inform me whether or not these things are still living or they're just animated by the tree.
That's a very good question. I really hope that they're just being twitched around by the tree.
How far are we from the tree?
Right now, it looks like Declan's the closest, and I would say he's about 20 feet from the tree.
I'll get about 10 foot from the tree.
Okay. And again, you will see the creatures in here kind of moving around. And you will also notice something different that you haven't seen moving around these trees, a different type of creature. It will be probably, it's going to be about the size of probably say about like a bear. I mean, it's a pretty big creature. And it will have kind of these green tendrils coming off of it. Its mouth will be full of just jagged teeth. And it does not really resemble... You're not really sure what it might resemble. It looks like it may have some semblance of a creature before, but it is very much... it seems very different. And the texture of what it looks like, its skin is, it doesn't look like an animal that you have seen kind of being taken over.
Mm-hmm.
You will also see some like green sacks along the back of the cave. Probably there'll just be about 3 of them that are just there. They kind of pulsate every so often, but they're back there and just sitting there.
And that's the sacks?
Yeah.
By sack, you mean like a pus sack?
Yeah, like a pus sack, yes.
Yeah.
Like an egg
pus
or...
sack, something maybe like that.
Are these creatures paying any attention to us? They're in here.
With you both in there, they seem to just be walking around you.
A lot of moisture in the room.
In here, yes. Let me explain that. Sorry. When you get to the floor, when you first start walking in, you'll notice that there's kind of dry rock. Not dry, but there's rock that isn't submerged. But around the tree is just this green kind of water that is around the tree. And as you get closer, the walls again will be kind of have this mossy that give off a faint glow, but the trees themselves actually give off more light in here. It seems like they radiate just this green light.
Jack's gonna go ahead and bend down to the water, scoop a little bit up, and just taste it. He's not gonna swallow it. He just swish around in his mouth and spit it back out.
Why?
Ew.
For that
He's a
reaction
son of a
right
bitch,
there.
that's why.
So you put it in your mouth and get a little taste, and it is awful tasting. Like even though you spit it out, it is still in your mouth. And actually you start to feel this even kind of burn in your mouth.
You just put treatment in your mouth.
And you can add to your unknown 5.
Okay. How deep is the water?
It's probably about ankle deep.
Yeah, I'll start walking up to the tree.
You gonna lick it?
I might. I don't know.
Just
Don't lick the
put
tree.
Everything in his mouth.
Walk up to the tree. I'm not gonna touch the tree. I just want to see if like the creatures and or the body parts react. Is really what I'm going for.
So you're touching like the body parts?
I'm not touching anything.
Oh,
I'm just walking close to the tree.
okay.
So I'm not like
see if they like reach for you or something.
right.
A bunch of vines come up, grab you, suck you into the tree, and you were gone. No. So as you approach and look closer, you're gonna see what looks like probably about 7 distinct different people that seem to be in this tree.
Any faces?
No faces on this.
Are there any other body parts that aren't lips? Are we like getting an ass that's just sticking out of the tree, or
That's what I was looking for.
something else for Jack to interact with?
Simon has not left the hallway. I'm just disgustedly looking into this room without any interest of going any further.
So that's a no. Just hands and feet and arms and legs.
Jack will back up.
Go look at Theodore. Are you feeling any impulses, Theodore? Now that you're
I
infected.
kind of want to leave.
So as you all are sitting there and they're in there, there will be a couple of creatures coming down the tunnel, kind of towards your direction.
I mean, unless they're making noise, Jack doesn't know they're there.
Right. I would say that Theo and Simon you would hear them. They're not being silent. They're just walking down, coming down the tunnel. Are you going to do anything?
I think Simon would move towards the wall on the far end and turn my back to them so the jacket is facing them with all the goop on it, and the cleaner part of my body is facing away from them.
Okay. So they're going to get about to you, and I need for Simon to roll me a luck.
No problem.
Oh, he
Nice.
rolls a 21.
Nice.
The creatures come by. They kind of halt for a second and sniff, and you even see their body like quiver, and parts of their skin kind of almost like little tendrils kind of come off into the air and start like almost feeling around, and then they just continue moving on.
Not
So-
the investigators you're looking for.
Was disturbing.
So it
Watch.
was a sense thing.
So they move on, and I need for Jack, Declan, and Theo to make me again on the unknown roll. If you fail, well, depending on how you fail, but if you have a normal failure, then just add 5.
I got a 6.
Nice.
Oh, Theo.
I got
so-
a 78.
Theo, you don't add anything to yours.
Sweet.
For Declan and Jack, you'll just add 5 to your
Yeah.
unknown. All right. Are you guys hanging out here longer, or are you going to move farther down the hall?
I think we've seen enough in this room.
I think some might say too much.
So as you move down the hall, again, you will see just this hall lined with moss and a faint green glow until you come to a bigger opening. And again, you're going to see the rock kind of around the edge. It's not in the water. It might be moist or wet around there, but it's not under the water. But then around, you're going to see a larger grouping of these kind of tree-like root things coming out of the ground, going up to the ceiling. Again, you will make out that you see that there appear to have been people. You'll see body shapes, but this time you will actually see more of the people. It'll be that kind of like various parts. There might be only half of their body in. You might see some faces, and you might see just more of the bodies being kind of pulled into these trees. Also, as you come in off to your left or your right, you will hear running water. And as you kind of look over there, you see water flowing into a much larger chamber, and then it just there's a lot more noise coming from that chamber. And as you kind of look, you see this dense set of roots and then coming from the center. You will look around, and it looks like you can see another passageway off to your left. A little farther up along the edge, again, you'll see the green water around these trees, and you will again hear that noise or the whisper that is that almost like it feels strange, but you almost get this feeling like these roots or trees or whatever they are singing to each other. It's slightly different here, and there's something that seems to be like something to it, but it's also not something that you want to hear. And you will again make a sanity roll.
I want to concentrate, see if I can understand them.
That was going to be me again. I wanted to listen in and see if I could actually hear it again.
So we have Jack with a 64, Theo with a 68, and Declan with a 33, which are all successes, so you will take 2 sanity damage. Simon with a 4, which is an extreme success, and so with your extreme success, you will take only 1.
As they're rolling for their listening checks to try to hear stuff, I do want to take this moment to kind of reach out for my inspiration. Kind of taking note of things that I'm going to want to include in my playwright. So I'm just going to reach out to that aspect as we're moving through here.
It is a failure, and what comes of this is that you will hear this voice like saying, "Oh, this is all great stuff. This is what you want for your playwright." But it'll also say, "But don't linger too long."
Okay.
And you said we're rolling listening checks?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Ooh, wow.
Declan with a 14. And
I'm going to
Jack.
push that. I want to push it.
Okay. No, all right. So, Jack, you were trying to... We'll start with you. You were trying to listen, and you kind of slipped on one of the rocks into the water, and you're like, ah... And then you're like, okay. You took a moment. And again, you notice that this tree seems to be slightly different than the other one. And again, it's like there's a slight variation, but you can't really make out. For Declan, as you listen, you start to feel just this dread that what you're really hearing is almost like it feels like when you really hear it, you get this sense of like pain and anguish and suffering that somehow these trees are able to convert it almost like an instrument of just blowing air into a different sound. But you feel this behind it that it is whoever is in these seem to be is suffering in what's going on.
We're burning this place down when we're done, right?
Yeah, how flammable do these trees look?
I mean they're surrounded by water, so...
Did the water taste flammable when you were swishing it around?
A little bit.
All right. That's good.
That'll help us out.
Since you can see more of the bodies here, you're going to see that if you do see a face, it's not, again, you might see like an eye open or both eye, like it keeps moving, and it just sporadically, again, like just doing various things or impulsive, but it doesn't seem to be like someone is in control.
I'm going to say the name Bernice. I just want to see if they respond to anything, like a name.
Okay.
Bernice.
And you just hear the noises you've been hearing, nothing responds.
So where did we see the tunnel churning from this room? You said there was just one going up and to the left?
So there is
our entranceway.
There's an opening over here that you hear water kind of flowing in, and
so off to our right.
Off to your right.
I was looking for descriptions. I was just looking for descriptions for people that can't see it.
Yeah, and then up towards your left, higher or farther up into the cave, there looks like there's a tunnel that goes off. And as I'm going to say, as you're walking around, you will see some other tunnels farther in that are kind of behind the roots that branch off into other directions. So you really have about 4 places you can look to see where to go next. Again, you will see some creatures moving around these roots, and again, you would see a few of those pus-filled sacks, but you do not see one of those larger creatures in this area.
Well,
okay,
let's meet you back here in 10 minutes. Each take a path.
Is that the plan, is for us to split down one of the 4 different paths instead of sticking together?
Seems like a pretty bad idea.
Okay.
What exactly
don't
are
have
we
to.
looking for?
I have no idea.
We're looking for the source of the magic that's fueling these trees to be able to cut it short so the tree will die.
And we have any idea what that looks like? I feel like we only got 2 witches in the group, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to go wandering off on my own trying to look for something, does it?
The hell? Jack will smash an eye on his head.
As
my side.
You do that, let's see what you see. Hopefully you don't hey, there's good. So 32,
32.
Which is a hard success.
Hard success.
And as you do this, you're going to get a faint glow coming from the roots of this that there seems to be some type of magic flowing through them. And you don't necessarily identify it. And then as you're seeing this, the off to your right, which where the big opening and water was kind of pouring in, and there's a whole bunch of roots, you're going to see a much more massive glow, that there seems to be more concentration of magic coming from that. Essentially, if you walk over there, you're going to notice there's just water that's pouring off almost like a waterfall into a giant pit. And you're just going to see this jumble of roots and stuff that's just filled this area that extend all the way up, that you believe would connect to the tree above. And the glow gets brighter as you look down as far as the magic.
Well, I say we head off to the right, gents.
Is it possible that the book is in a pool of water?
Very, very possible.
So as you get here, it just drops off. There's a waterfall into a giant pit. If you want to, you can attempt to climb the roots down, or you can keep exploring the other tunnels to see if there is a path down.
So it just goes down?
Yes.
It ends in a pool of water at the bottom. We just can't see how deep it is, or
no. The water is pouring off down into this pit. You have no idea if there's a pool of water down there or what's down there. You can hear, through this this kind of pit. It sounds like other sources of water is draining off this. And I think one more thing I forgot to mention: as you've been going down this path is slanting down. So you are descending as you walk this path to these various rooms.
So we see no way down other than just
There's 3 other paths.
Yeah, you could. There are some other paths that you might be able to take, but right now, I guess if you wanted the most direct, you could probably jump off, not knowing how far of a plunge or what's
Any
down there.
stone or anything that we might be able to drop down the hole? Get a
Yeah, you can pick up a stone and drop it. So, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as you drop it and it goes a little bit, you're going to hear a because there's a whole bunch of roots underneath there that it's just smacking on as it goes down, almost like plinko. It's just kind of coming
So it
down.
hit the
So
roots all the
jumping
way
is a
down.
bad idea.
So
Probably.
I thought climbing was the initial idea, like get on the roots and climb down.
I mean, you could look at that. That's what you want to do.
From this angle, like the roots are coming up all the way above, like blocking our line of sight across the room, right? So we can't really see if other paths are intersecting elsewhere.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. The other 3 paths are up north, and any of those might circle around and come back down to where we want to go.
Right.
Simon's just gonna say, I'm not sure what the best option is, but I think the most direct route is best. It is my intuition that we shouldn't be lingering here very long.
Yeah, but I'm not very good at climbing. I don't know
Last
if we
time we
should just
followed your
climb down
intuition,
these.
we threw a bunch of people off a train.
And you lived, and right now you're on a timer before the infection takes hold.
With that, if I can get Simon, Simon to make a luck roll. There are going to be various creatures around you.
There's your luck of a 10.
So again, some of them might get a little close to you as you do this, and again, they kind of start to react, and then they go away. They don't seem to be completely after you, and it seems to be that you are your luck is holding out for you.
I'm
now.
inclined to agree with him, is that I don't think we should be down here any longer than we can help it.
So
whether that's wandering around looking for the magic item, the thing that we're after, or we're climbing down looking for it, I don't really know.
So as you look at the different paths that are leading away, the one that is, we'll say, in the north east, that you notice that it steeps and goes down. The one that's kind of more north will kind of stay level and move off into a more northward direction. And then there's one kind of more towards the west at the upper end of the chamber that it will actually kind of go up higher. And it looks like if you look down that way, you would see a fork not too far that it forks off into 2 more tunnels.
Well, water's heading down. I say we take the path that goes down. I'm not keen on climbing down, but if you gents want to.
Say we take the path.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're heading to this path over here, up at the north. Okay. And again, it'll start to descend down, and I need to have.
So this looks narrower.
It is. So essentially, where you're walking, there's stone and there's water. Now you get into this path. It does start to, at places, get narrow where you're going to have to kind of squeeze through. But as you're leaving this room, I do need to have my 3 infected to roll. So
81.
Theo and Jack both add 5.
Simon's infected.
And Declan add 5.
So close. 2%.
So as you move down this hall, again, there's going to be places that get pretty narrow. You're going to squeeze through, and you come again to an opening to a room that it's very familiar. To the north, it's going to open up. There's going to be some branches or the roots. Again, you'll see some You'll see what look like body parts or things like that within the tree. Again, the sound will be slightly different, but you will again hear this sound. You will see water running down the rock and from the pool that these trees in across the path that runs down a kind of a tunnel. And you'll see again the bright light or a brighter light coming from these roots that are, it sounds like the water is plummeting off the side and going down into this pit. And so the tunnel then to your east again continues to descend, so you can look in the room or you can continue on down the path. And I will also say, so Jack, what are your score on the unknown?
30 now.
30. Jack, you're going to start to feel a little bit of ache in you. It's just you're feeling some ache, and you might even be feeling a little bit, little warmer. But right now, it's not necessarily affecting you, or you. I mean, I guess you could stop to check yourself to look at what you look like. But for now, you're just kind of have a little bit more of an ache and starting to feel a little bit more warm. Are you proceeding down the path, or are you going to look in the room?
I mean, I don't see anything sight-wise, right? Other than...
You'll just continue to see what you saw before. A slight glow, and then you'll see more of a glow around the roots.
I think Simon is looking to Jack for an instruction on what he's seeing.
I say keep going. I don't see anything in there. So
does the path south that heads back towards the roots, is that much lower? Like, have we descended that much, or are we?
Yeah, you've descended. I would say probably about. Probably it felt pretty good. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what the grade would be, but I would say you've descended about 20 feet.
Yeah, we'll keep going then.
And again, it's going to have a steep decline. You're going to come across some narrow pathways. And I'm going to say even when you're going, there might be parts where you have to kind of climb down a little bit. That there's a path there, but it's a little bit rugged. And you're going to come across a fork. One of them will head to the east, which you see what looks like a larger chamber. Again, of the roots and everything. There's a glow. You see the water and some creatures. And then you see, again, to your kind of southeast, a path that leads to another large, what looks like a chamber with a bunch of, again, more roots. So either way leads to what looks like a place. So I don't know which way you're going to go.
There doesn't appear to be anything in this room either, right? Like, other than the roots and a tree?
I mean, that's what you're seeing. If you want to go in and check out the room.
Yeah, I'll go in.
Okay. So again, you'll see a path to the back on the opposite side. You'll see the normal thing that you've seen, rocks around the side, water, there's the trees. Again, a different sound. You're going to see the faint glow of magic, and there will be some creatures moving around, and some of those pus-filled sacks that are in there. And this time you're actually going to see one of them start to pulsate, and as it does, it kind of bursts. And when it does, you see one of those creatures that it was like the size of a bear. It kind of the creature looks smaller than that, but it kind of falls into the water, and it begins to stand up and start trying to move and walk around.
Okay, I'm gonna start backing up out of the room now.
Simon did not go that far in. He's standing at the bed waiting to see what folks are doing.
I don't want to look at Yogi being born there in a green pus sack.
I need my 3 infected to make me a roll. Ooh.
That's a 96.
Theo got a
73.
Which is, that's a fumble. So you will actually add 10 to yours. And what are you? That puts you up to 30, I think, Theo?
Yeah.
And then Declan and Jack both failed. Jack with a 73 and Declan with a 43. Add 5 to yours. And I think that puts Declan up to 30. Up to 30. And so Theo, you and Declan are going to start to feel, again, you're going to feel the aches, and you're going to start to feel a little warm and kind of being starting to not feel the best.
Is Simon seeing signs from the other three in terms of the spreading? Like, am I seeing it now, like on their arms or their face or their necks, like with the infection
Are you
spreading?
actively looking?
I think that I would. Yeah.
Okay, make me a spot hidden.
I will say that my infection started on my ankles, so if it's spreading, it's very unlikely that
If
it's...
Simon asked Theo, he wouldn't lie to him.
I don't think I'd ask. I would just look. That's a success of the 59.
Yeah, so as you're looking at them, you don't necessarily see any any signs that they're like turning green or anything, but you do start to notice that you almost see more perspiration. It's not like hot down there, but you're starting to see sweat bead on them, and kind of they definitely look like they have a lot of sweat.
Straining a little bit to walk around and do stuff.
Yeah.
Like strained breathing and a little bit of sweating.
I would say that. I don't know about this. So you might have a little bit of strained breathing, but it's just kind of they're still moving, but they're starting to look a little bit exhausted, or not exhausted, but I would just say you definitely see the perspiration on them that you're not necessarily noticing on you.
And all of a sudden, everybody hears a gun, hammer, cock.
Okay.
Jack is done.
Simon kills the three of them.
Simon kills the three of them.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
Now I got the book.
The
Drive off
book
to the
of,
I can finally write my play.
the book of Triscuits.
Yep.
I
So
thought it was hibiscus.
as you come in this room, again, I'm going to need Simon make me a luck roll.
Oh, come on. I'm going to run out of luck here in a minute. I can't do this all night, Todd.
Hey,
You're
got
getting
it.
more
Yeah.
infected.
There it is.
So one of the creatures is going to come near you, and
I can
it
dodge. Come on.
you can dodge. I don't know what all you're going to try to do, but it does kind of turn, and it is posing to ready to attack you. So it is pretty close to you, and you can dodge. I'll let you take an action if you want to try to get away from it, kick it, whatever you're going to do.
Dodge,
But-
dip, dive, duck, and dodge.
There you go.
Excuse me.
I was going to try to dodge and then punt it.
Oh God.
Is this like one of the bear
So-
things?
I can. Oh, it's a. Oh my god! I got to spend 40 to. I'm not going to do that. Fuck.
So you attempt to kind of dodge out of the way, and it will take a bite at you.
Miss me.
It does miss you, and if you want to try to kick it away from you,
Is that a brawl?
yeah.
All right, I'm going to try to punt. Oh my god! Can I
Do you
push
get
that?
luck?
You can't. I don't think you can push
Yeah,
brawl.
I don't think you can push
I
it.
can. I can push 13 luck to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going
Okay.
to punt it.
You kick this creature, and with luck, as you kick it, it ends up
13
flying
luck.
towards the tree, and it's enough that it hits some of the roots that are sticking out, and it kind of impales it on the tree, and it's you see these tendrils kind of reaching out farther, but they kind of stop at a point, reaching towards you, and it doesn't seem to be able to get off, but that creature did notice you. And so it's interested in you, but it can't get to you right at this point. You don't notice that anything else is coming after you.
I am not going to make another luck roll. That drops my luck down to a 29.
I can't believe you
higher
spent
than Jason's.
13 luck.
Do what?
No, 29's still higher than the luck I have.
That's what I was saying. Still better than
26.
So as you get into this room, you're going to see, you all just witnessed this creature kind of come towards Simon. He tries to move out of the way,
all
but
just
it
watch.
misses. He kicks it, and you watch it fly over, hit the tree, and it ends up getting impaled on some of the roots and unable to get away from or get at him. And as you're looking around the room, you will see there is a path farther to the east, which you probably guess leads up to that big room that you just saw, what you called Yogi Bear being born, leads up to there. Then you look to the west, and there's a pretty big opening of water flowing down into the pit. And then to the south is another path that continues to descend.
Okay.
And probably at this point, you've gone down probably about another 30, 40 feet.
We've got to move faster.
So, I mean, at this point, this looks like it's just going straight into the room, but I don't know if that's strictly true.
When you get here, you'll see just water pouring down. And you will see a slight glow coming down. I mean, Jack will see the glow from his vision that he's or with his sight, but you all will see a faint glow, and you make out that there looks like there's might be some pools of water and rocks and some other shapes. You can't make out too much because it's still a little far down, and the light isn't completely the most illuminating to see that far.
I have my pin light. Does that make any difference?
No. I mean, you see close up and you see the roots around you,
Okay.
and they look pretty
Yeah.
gnarly.
How far can you teleport?
I can teleport.
What? Said Jack.
I mean,
Oh, and
I
hold
forgot about that.
Ears aren't so good.
I
Oh,
can teleport as far as there is a shadow, technically, but the further I go, the worse it gets.
can you judge how bad it would be to jump down there?
How far am I looking right now, Todd? Can I see the bottom?
I would say that, as I said, you can kind of see something down there. You maybe see some shapes of what look like a pool and some rocks, but they're still probably, I would say, still about 60 feet or so down.
Oh, well, that's a train car. I already did that.
So that's what you're going to do? You want to teleport everyone down or just you?
Oh, I'm not going alone. No. If I go, everybody's going.
I didn't realize you could take people with you.
I didn't either.
I didn't either.
I guess I wasn't thinking. No, so yeah, no, you wouldn't be able to take them with you.
Ah.
I was getting ahead of myself. Sorry.
That would have been amazing.
Right?
I also would have been like, why the hell didn't we do this sooner?
Well, technically, you couldn't see the bottom from before.
But I can see the bottom now.
You can start to make out, yes, the shapes down there.
All right, we should keep moving.
Okay.
Simon's
I
going to
wanna
get
risk
caught,
it.
and the rest of us are going to turn into
Vegetables.
demon creature. Yeah, vegetables. That's it.
So as you're
Think of
making your
anything
way,
more evil.
just make another roll for, as you guys are leaving this room for those infected.
He's 86.
Okay,
I am now at 40.
71 and
71.
You make a success,
I made mine.
and you do not add any points to yours.
I may teleport just so I don't become infected completely.
But Theo, you had a 71, which is a failure, and Jack had an 86, which is a failure. So add 5 to yours.
Yep, I did.
Yep.
I'm
All
at
right.
40 now.
Again, you're going to come down to this path. It starts to decline, or it continues to go deeper, and you come to two paths as you a fork. One that runs east. It starts to level off, and you can see it looks into a room, and then another path that goes on down to the south that continues to go down.
I guess I'll go south then.
You are going south.
That's one going down, yeah.
As you come down, this is a pretty long path that you will eventually come to a area. You hear water running, and it looks like water is just kind of running across the path. You'll come to some roots again that are coming up, and you'll hear the sound. You'll see the glow. You don't see any creatures around this one, but as you come to it and you kind of see this little creek that's flowing, and it flows to the southwest. It's flowing in that direction off into the rocks and just kind of disappearing. The path ahead that leads kind of on the northwest will start to not be as inclined, and you start to kind of level off, and you will see a glow in ahead of you, and we are going to switch to a new map. But as you guys are approaching, I need the infected to make me a roll.
Ah,
Oh, I made one.
Jack made it, so you do not add anything. Declan, you got a
69.
46. and that will be a failure. And Theo, you rolled a 69, which is a failure, so both of you will add 5.
Nice.
Up to 40.
And I will say, again, you all are going to, again, feel that stiffness. You're going to definitely feel kind of, just like that. You feel like you're just getting warmer.
Right.
And so, let's switch over here.
I mean, that makes sense. We got to be damn near halfway to the center of the earth at this point.
All 100 feet of it.
Yeah.
So as you're approaching, you're coming around a corner and you're going to hear water pouring off into, you're just going to hear water kind of coming down and splashing into basically pools below. In here, you're going to come in. You'll see some stone. You'll see some like vines and roots kind of coming out of this area. And in the middle, you'll see there's almost just a central tree trunk that's running up, and then it branches off into the roots you see above. But here you just see this central tree trunk, and from this trunk, you see these massive roots have grown out to the sides of this pit that are going into the wall and disappearing. The other thing that you've noticed are these weird claw-like things coming out of the walls. And it's more than rock, and they don't necessarily move, but it is the whole place when you get down here feels different. The air smells different. It almost makes you want to cough. You're not coughing at this moment, but it's just everything feels different. And there's all of these vines, and when you see this tree, you then notice that there are all these vines condensing onto one spot.
Okay.
And as you walk in, you won't see any creatures or anything like that in here. There's no pus-filled sacks or anything.
Is my sight still going? Sight still active?
And
what do I see there?
You will see where the roots and everything have come together. They are you see definitely an aura of what appears to be of magic.
Well, I think I found it. That's right there, and I'm going to point to the roots.
So kind of straight ahead, probably about 40 feet in front of you, you'll see this mass of vines and just foliage kind of surrounding what looks like a small cocoon or something that is different than what the other plants you see. Or not necessarily different, but a different shape. They're behaving different around there.
How deep is the water here?
I don't know that you'd be able to tell at this point. Unless you're going to go walk around and check them out.
I mean, so I'm standing here on the rock. I'll put my foot in the water.
Well, there's no water around you. Where the water, you'll see pools of water, is where the water's running down into the pit. And then there's some streams that look like that goes into the trees.
So there's no water to that orb?
Not that you can tell. And it's a little bit higher up on the tree. It's probably about 10 feet in the air. Now, you wouldn't be able to get that close because back up a little bit there, Jack. So as you guys kind of come in about maybe 10, 15 feet in the cave, you will hear a rustling in the tree, and you'll see this these vines move, and as it moves, you will see this body with all these vines surrounding, except for the face is visible. The face is kind of emaciated, but it's sunk in, it's depleted, but it moves and the eyes open, and it's like looking at you. And at this side of this thing, you are going to all need to make a sanity roll. So, Simon, you succeed, and you will take 2 points of sanity damage. Jack, so you will take 2 plus a d4. And then Theo and Declan will both take 2. So, as you're seeing this face is looking at you, and the vines are, you can see its limbs are separated, so its limbs are able to move, but it's all wrapped up in the vines, and you can't tell if it's moving or the vines are moving its limbs, but it's just kind of standing there suspended in front of the sack now that you've come in, and it's just looking at you.
It's in front of where we need to go?
Yes.
Does it look like Igor? The face?
Make me I feel I'm going to say a spot hidden. And you can all try to make...
Jesus, Jack.
Jack, yeah. Jack, you're going to like...
One.
That definitely looks like Igor.
Hey, guys, that's Igor.
As this moves in front of you, you will just hear this like, "Be gone! You are not welcome here."
I think Jack and Declan are up there to have a conversation. Me and Theodore.
Here you got a little bit of a lawn problem, Igor.
The one known as Igor is no longer here. Leave,
Master,
or I will consume you.
Kind of nice of him to give us the option.
It's really considerate.
It is. When I look at Igor, sight-wise, what do I see? Same thing.
You will see that, you'll see magic coming from him, and you will see almost like I would say you see a little bit of what looks like a stream that goes towards the orb, or the kind of the cocoon behind him. As this is kind of going on, you will see some of the vines start to kind of they'll kind of jiggle and start to come to life, and start kind of slowly creeping along the stones, kind of like encircling, moving towards or encircling around you all on the edges, probably about 50 or 60 feet away.
Yeah.
We will begin initiative. Now, if you're using your gun, like you're going to shoot it, you will move up. If you just have your gun out and you're running around, you're going to have your normal initiative. So keep that in mind. I think some of you do have, knives. So if you want to have knives out or something, you can. If there's something that you have on you that you think you could improvise or use...
I'll pull out a torch and try and light it.
There you go.
Okay.
It makes all the sense in the world that Simon's going to pull out his gun and just try to shoot floating Igor.
Perfect sense.
So we are just going to kind of do this, though, in kind of imagination land. So move through and kind of think, but... right now, to give you guys some idea of what you're at, probably about 20 feet in front of Jack and Declan is the floating Igor that has been kind of wrapped up in the vines. And then probably again about another 15, 20 feet behind him is the pulse, or kind of that sack that seems to be what you're after or trying to get to. There are vines moving around the edges that are moving closer to you. And so depending on what's going to kind of go on from there, on either side of you, there is kind of this lush, they're full of like, it looks like they're roots going into the wall, but they're actually full of like moss and foliage. So it looks like something you potentially could climb or whatever. And then on the sides of the walls, there are these kind of weird claw-like things. They kind of a reddish hue to them, and they're there. Now, farther on the perimeter, there are pools of water, and again, there's just a lot of vines around here. But we will begin, and I believe that Jack... Simon, you're going to pull your gun. Will you just start shooting?
Yeah.
Okay, is anyone else pulling their gun?
I'll pull mine. I really don't have anything else other than a blackjack.
Okay, so Simon, I think you'll be up first. You pull your gun, and you're probably about 30 feet away from the floating Igor.
Yeah, I'll probably walk forward 10 feet. I'm going to pull out my gun and just fire it at the floating Igor, hoping to hit him or the vines that are wrapped around him, just aiming for central mass.
Gotcha.
On this guy. I'm going to roll 3 successes of an 81, 76, and 64. And my damage is going to come out as a 3, a 5, and a 3.
Great. And so as you shoot, you do shoot in the central mass, and you see these vines kind of wither as you're hitting them, and it's piercing through. And it actually pulls back Igor back a little bit, and you'll see more vines kind of shoot up from behind him to wrap him around again to increase around him. But he does, it now has moved, and it looks like there's kind of an opening that has kind of created by it moving, because it's moved up higher, probably about 10 feet higher, and it's moved back maybe about 10 feet. So it almost, after you hit it, did it almost what looks like it's trying to protect Igor in a sense. Okay. But
and I will shout out at the others, find the book, get it!
Okay. And that'll bring up Declan. You have your gun out.
I'm doing basically the same thing. Alright, 3 shots coming at him for 2 failures and a success.
So an 87 and an 81 for a failure, and a 24 for success, and
9 damage on the shot I hit.
9 damage,
I did almost as much as you did, Josh, with 1 shot.
So,
how about that?
So you guys are hearing the gunfire, and this shot again hits, and it cuts through some of the vines. You even see the face on Igor kind of wince in pain. And as you do this, it lets out this loud scream, and it kind of it almost kind of it takes you back about how loud this scream is, and then it just looks even more enraged, and you hear a lot of the vines and stuff starting to rustle and move around. So that'll bring up then Jack. You are there. It looks like the opening has appeared. It's moved up higher and kind of backed away, but you've also heard this scream, and you hear the vines all around rustling. Again, you're about probably 30 feet from the pulsating.
Can I move that far?
You can attempt to. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. As you start to run up, you are going to start to see vines kind of shoot out from around to try to get in your way. So I need you to make me a dex. Okay.
40.
So
success.
You get probably about 10 feet. You're able to move past these vines, but that's about as far as you get without being caught by the vines. So you're still free, but you only are able to move about 10 feet.
So how far am I from the orb?
Now you're about 20.
All right, I'm going to shadow step. Success with a 41.
Okay, so you see this kind of shadow come over you, or you kind of move through and kind of blur out of existence, and out of kind of the trunk close to the cocoon kind of thing, you emerge from the shadows right there, and that'll be your turn. All right, Theo, you just saw Jack disappear and reappear up by the cocoon, and fairly certain that he shadow traveled. You saw, first you saw him run about 10 feet. All these vines came out to try to stop him. He was able to avoid them, but he wasn't able to get more than 10 feet from where he was, and then he shadow traveled. So what about for you? What are you looking to do? Or you were trying to light a torch?
Yeah, I've got a torch out, and I'm spending my action to light it.
All right, so you've lit your torch?
And then I'm going to move up next to Simon, and I'm just watching for any vines that get too close, and I'm going to swing at them.
Okay. You start to hear around you noises and like things going, and all of a sudden you hear splashes in the water. And there's just things falling now into the water, and you hear them banging on the roots as they come down and hitting. Some of them even hit some of the sides of the rock, or even hit the hooks, and it just, you hear all these sounds coming, and these vines come for each of you, and they're moving towards you all. So I need all of you to make a dex roll. So Jack rolls a 94. Okay. Ooh.
A 97.
So
jumped right into it.
we'll come back to you, Jack. Let's first start with Declan. Declan, you come over.
Mine too.
Okay, push yours.
69.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're both screwed.
We're
Declan,
both screwed.
the vine kind of grabs you and starts to lift you up in the air. You do try to get away, and you are able to get away, but it's got you enough in the air that you fall to the ground, and you're going to take 1d4 of damage.
Oh no. Are you rolling that, or am I?
Oh, I can do that for you.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And you take 3 damage. You hit a rock kind of on the side, and it hit your ribs. Now, also, because you did have the contact with the vine wrapping around you, I need you to make the unknown roll. And all right, you're going to add 5 to your unknown, as you kind of feel burning where the vine had wrapped around on your skin. So Simon and Theo, you both are able to avoid contact with the vines, and you're not impacted by them. Jack, while you're up there, you are kind of trying to concentrate, getting ready for whatever you're going to do next, and these vines catch you, and you attempt to twist, and they end up throwing you through the air. So as you're going through this air, I'm going to have you make me a dex roll again to see if you're able to somewhat either help yourself out or... All right.
Ooh,
so as you're being
success.
thrown, you happen to catch one of the branches, and it kind of helps you somewhat stabilize and not fly too far away, but it throws you about 15 feet farther away from the cocoon. You land in some of the kind of the shrubbery or stuff connected to the tree, but you do take a d4 of damage. Oh, 4 damage.
All right.
So you have taken that damage, and we're going to come back up to the top of the round, and that brings up Simon.
I think my only option really is to continue firing my gun, my 3 shots here at the center guy. It seems like everyone's not in vines right now. They've either fallen or they've gotten out. So I'll continue firing at Igor for 3 more successes. Oh my god, that last one was barely a success.
Makes it with a 94.
And then rolling my damage on him is 433.
All right, you do 10 points of total damage, and again, you hit him, and again, it kind of keeps him at a distance from you. More vines continue to wrap around him, and he again winces in pain, but he still kind of keeps his distance and does not move towards you. And that will bring up that'll bring up Declan. You fell, you're on the ground, you still have your gun. Are you going to start shooting, or...
Does it just take part of my movement to, like, stand up then?
Yeah, I would just say yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll stand up and keep firing.
Okay.
3
Nice.
successes, 39, 42, 62.
My god, Declan just came online. Oh my god!
9.
89 and 10
God.
damage for a total of 27.
Jeez.
He pissed me off. He touched me when I didn't want to be touched.
Bad touch.
That old cop finally is in it.
And so you're going to definitely shoot it, and some of the vines, you actually are able to break some of the vines connecting, and Igor kind of swings to the side as he, again, his face grimaces in pain, and more vines again continue to connect, but it keeps him occupied or unable to do whatever he might be doing. And so that's going to bring up, I think, Jack. Jack, you're kind of laying in a kind of some shrubbery, and you're about 15 feet away. You could attempt to try to move again towards it, or
I will. How close do I have to do to be in for protection again? Like, say, an area protection.
Part of it's going to depend on how well you cast it. So if you get an extreme success, I would say you could be 10 feet out. Everything else, you're going to have to be like where you can touch that cocoon.
And I'm 15 feet from it right now?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to try and move towards it.
Okay. So as you get up and you start to move, I just need you to make a dex to see if you can get around those vines. And Jack, again, with a good... you have moved past the vines. Again, you're able to get about 10 feet, so you're 5 feet away from the cocoon.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to do a protection spell.
Okay.
I'm going to do an area one. Basically just... It's going to have to encompass me in it, because it's an area one.
So are you casting on yourself to spread out over an area?
My hope is that it'll go 5 feet and just sever the link. That's my hope.
Okay.
I'm going to use 2 health.
Okay.
No, 3. Ooh. Because it's got to be an area. I'm going to use 2 HP for a standard roll.
Okay. Oh. Jack with
hard
a 22.
Success.
Hard success. So, interesting enough, your protection spell comes out in this green light, and it extends past the cocoon. And as this cocoon is enveloped, you see the vines just kind of die inside of it. And as it dies, the book kind of falls. It just kind of falls. And you can reach over and grab it. And as you do this, you see a tremor through everything around you. Everything starts to shrivel up. You even feel this inside you, this pain of something, and it's just kind of going in your body, and everyone else that has this infection, you're gonna feel this pain in your body that's starting to burn, but you still see the vines moving, and you'll hear this you'll hear from the Igor who's been suspended, and you'll actually hear a different voice be like, take the book, end this for me, end this. And then it'll kind of come back over, and again a loud scream will come over. And Theo, it'll be it's your turn. You see Jack over there, and I don't know how, Jack, how are you looking? You've taken some damage.
Oh, I'm not good at all.
Yeah, so Jack's looking pretty rough. He's probably 30, 40 feet away from you, but he has the book. You see things starting to shrivel up and kind of dying, but there are things still moving. And you've got your torch. Are you just kind of staying there to kind of keep things away?
Vines and such.
What? I didn't catch the first part what you said.
I'm just swinging the torch at the vines, trying to keep them back, guard the entrance a little bit.
So, go ahead.
Would it take much economy to pull my gun and hand it to Simon next to me?
I mean, if you're kind of swinging, I'm fine with you handing you his gun. Again, you're going to see vines come out to try to grab you all. Now, Jack, you're inside your protection, so the vines are not able to reach you. So you have that going for you. But Declan, you are kind of out there, so you'll need to make a roll. Simon and Theo, you can make a dex roll, but you can add a +1 because you have the torch waving around to try to keep them away.
All right, so straight dex.
Yep. All right.
Ooh. Old man
go.
Declan.
Yeah, we're going to get to
Jeez,
Declan.
way to go, guys.
So
I pushed mine.
yeah, I saw that. So at first we see Theo is out there with the torch, waving it around. One tries to get a little close. He smacks it with the torch, and it kind of wiggles away. And then Theo, you kind of see, and as you're trying to keep that one away from you, one grabs Simon and starts to try to pull him away. And Simon does some type of maneuver. It's just breathtaking. Almost seems to do a flip over the vine and land on his feet. He does it gracefully, and the vine is not able to hold on to him. And as you both are doing this, and you look up, there is Declan, and he's not having any of this. He is just swatting away these vines and maneuvering like you've never seen him move before. Like
Declan
for his
just became
age,
Neo.
yeah, he is just dodging these vines like
He
they're
really doesn't like
nobody's
plants.
business. Now, as you are doing this, you start to hear these weird noises coming from on the opposite sides of you, from the pools of water. You start to hear these something like coming out of the water, and you still hear things falling and hitting into the water, but then they're making a different noise, and it's like a and they're just making this constant noise as they're kind of coming towards you, because you can hear them coming towards you. But that'll bring us up to the top, and that brings up Simon.
All right, I have picked up this gun from Theodore, and I am going to fire another 3 shots at Igor in the center. Unsure what the sounds are from the front, but seeing Jack with the book, I'm probably going to fire these 3 shots and then take a step about 10 feet backwards.
Extreme hard for successes.
Those are all successes, and that's going to be 12, 3, and 9.
All right. So yes, and so 23. So yeah, you hit, and this time, as you're hitting, you see the vines are falling away from Igor, and they're just they're not replacing, and they're starting to wither. And you actually see what looks like blood starting to merge from where some of the shots hit and coming out, and Igor is again, you see this pain in his face, but it definitely looked like there was more damage this time, or actual damage to him. And that then brings up I think Declan.
I have to reload, so do I go on my normal turn?
Oh yes, you would go on your normal turn. Okay, so that brings up Jack.
I mean, my bubble goes with me, so
Right.
I guess I'll just start walking towards everybody else.
Okay. You start moving now. I'll need you to make me a dex, but you get to put a +2 to it.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
put it hard, whatever. It's 3-star success with a 4.
Yes, that is
Extreme success.
Extreme. There you go.
extreme. And so as you're doing this, you're moving. The vines are trying to break through your protection spell, and they are just withering and dying, and they're not impeding you. So you're able to move. It's a little bit rough getting through some of the dead stuff that's falling around you. So you make it about 20 feet away, but you're getting closer to that exit. And again, you're going to see things are starting to fall down and die. You'll also hear from above you what sounds like cracking, and things are kind of snapping, and you start to hear maybe some things start to crumble from above you.
Okay. As I was walking back to the guys, I'll start putting this book in my bag.
So,
Okay.
quick question as he's walking back. Igor's like in the air floating kind of with vines. Like, does that
Yeah.
bubble extend upward high enough to like hit the bottom of him?
No,
Okay.
because he's probably about now 20, 30 feet up in the air.
Yeah, he kept going up every time we were shooting him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell him, you got the torch, use the damn thing. Light some stuff on fire.
Okay, that'll be Theo, you're up. You've got a torch and you've been told to light things on fire.
I don't know if it's gonna work, but I don't have a torch.
Blaze any of the shrubbery and such that's near me?
I mean, yeah, you can start. You can like chuck the torch if you want to some larger parts of the shrubbery that look like they're dying. You can keep swinging around or try to touch something close to you to set on fire. I guess it's whatever you want to do. Just tell me a general direction of where you're starting this fire.
Which direction do I hear more sounds coming from as far as like our level?
So on your level, you're going to hear noises that are coming from the north, kind of more northwest, on the other side of the root of what sounds like creatures are moving and making this weird noise. And then directly to your west, again, over the root there, that they're making a noise coming out of the water.
Which side do I think is louder?
I would say to the west.
We'll throw my torch that way.
Okay.
To try and hit. Yeah, to try and hit that there.
Make me a throw.
It's gonna land at my feet.
I want to just go on the record that I think this is a bad idea.
I too think it's a bad idea. We have 100 feet of tunnel to climb up as we're being smoked out.
Right, like where's the smoke gonna go? It's gonna go directly up the freaking shaft that we're trying to walk up.
I hope you threw it
It's
directly
fine.
into.
I rolled a 93.
It landed in the water anyway.
So
yeah.
roll
We're
me
not like shit on fire.
Roll me a d10.
That or it landed in the most flammable part and we're screwed.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
All right.
There's a 10.
You overthrow this. Like it goes past the root and just over. And I mean, you got a heck of a throw. And
Time for the Yankees.
yeah. And then you just hear it kind of fly over the root and smack against some rock on the other side. And you hear some weird noises. But other than that, you don't see anything else.
Yet.
Yeah,
So I will
yeah,
back
sure.
up here, draw my own gun.
Okay. And again, you will see some roots. Or no, Declan, you're reloading. Are you moving?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I'm actually gonna kind of stay put as I'm reloading my gun because
Okay.
I'm trying to defend Jack's retreat.
Gotcha. So as you're doing this, you're going to see some roots. For the most part, there are not any roots coming towards Theo and Simon at the entrance of the cave. But Declan, you're close enough to one of the vines, I guess, are coming towards you. To the one root that there are vines that come towards you. So I'll need you to make a dex.
That is a failure. 67.
Okay. Do you want to push that or?
Yeah, we'll give it a push.
Yeah.
Push and a shove and go to fail. And yeah, 56 is still a failure.
So this one will wrap around your leg and it starts to kind of try to pull you towards the root. And the root to your west over here, it reaches out and wraps around your leg and starts dragging you towards the root. The vines do, and so you are being pulled, and you move about. It pulls you about 10 feet closer to it.
Okay.
And then Jack, the roots are not able to get through your protection, so you don't even have to make a roll. You are doing good. So that'll bring us up to the next top part of the round, and that brings up Simon.
All right, so I imagine from where I'm standing at, I see this root grab a hold of
Yes.
Declan. So I am going to quickly flip the gun in that direction, fire a single shot to go through the root in hopes of breaking it, and then fire the other 2 shots at Igor in the air.
Just that much of a dead shot that he doesn't even have to fire more than once at the root. He's just like, nah, 1 shot will do it.
Not even worried. And since I'm using Theo's gun, that is 6 points of damage on the root, and then 3 and 4 on Igor.
Okay. So
What
you
guns you got?
45.
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, the butler has the nicest gun out of all of you. So you
Sneak
end
and
up
use it.
you shoot and you hit the root, and it releases Declan, who's on the ground now, and the others hit again Igor, and actually you will see him drop to the ground. There's still vines connected, but he will drop to the ground and be there, just kind of again, you see actually blood coming out of him, and he'll be down on the ground. So that's going to bring
So
up.
how far is he from me now?
He's probably about, I would say, about 15 feet behind you.
Oh, okay.
So that brings up then Declan. You are laying on the ground. I think you still have your gun.
I will stand up, seeing Igor go down. I'm not sure how much of a threat he is. My understanding of this is since the book was separated, the tree was just going to die. So
I'm just working on it?
Yeah, you see it dying.
yeah, I can see that it's dying, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not really sure what the exact threat is at the moment specifically, so I'm just gonna... Can I, like, hold my gun and shoot at something, like, if it comes after me? Or if I see a threat specifically?
Sure, I'll let you.
Because, yeah, I just kind of have it up, but I'm like, there's not much here, so I'm gonna try and just retreat with Jack as he approaches.
Okay, and I would say that you can get to the entrance of the cave. So you would get there, and then I believe that brings up Jack. Are you heading towards the cave entrance?
We want to get Igor?
That's up to you.
Like, if you have a reason to try and save him,
I don't know.
I can't.
Other than some answers, like I see no reason other than answers, and where the people that were taken from are. Like specifically the person I'm looking for and Declan's looking for, but doesn't matter. I moved.
Might be in that tree over there.
Opportunity's gone.
If you drink from the water of the tree, you might gain its wisdom. No,
I already did that.
Yeah.
No, you
told me-
drank
No,
from
you
the other
tasted it. You tasted
Yeah.
it. You didn't drink it.
Yeah. You sipped but did not swallow.
Yeah,
You fondled the apple. You didn't take a bite out of it.
you got freebies.
So you guys are going to get to the cave entrance, and you start to move up. As you're doing this, you will see some creatures that are kind of coming down the tunnel, but most of them are going to be like, they're going to be like almost like falling apart. The goo is there's like the green goo is kind of turning into a goo, and you see exposed insides that have been where it had been consumed, and it is just the creatures dying, and nothing really is a threat. But you start to hear smashing, and as you move up the tunnel, you start to come to those places where you can see where the water was pouring in. But every time you come to a room, those roots are dying and things are falling apart. You're seeing more of the people that look like they were there. As the falls apart, you see kind of them being exposed, but it's like they were part of the tree, and they are. You see people there. They may be spazzing or something, but they look like they're dying as you're going through. So I don't know if there's anything you want to try to help with these people, or if you're just trucking it out.
Do I recognize or know who any of the faces?
You're not recognizing anyone.
Okay. I think it's pretty safe to say there's nothing we could do. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So-
exiting and letting Jack use his bubble to essentially protect us as we're running through together.
And as you come to some of the clearings where you can see where that big opening where the roots are, they're drying up, and some of them have broken, and they're starting to fall down and collapse in there. And you are working your way up, And another thing that you start to notice is you start to notice more moisture coming in through the walls and filling up, because again, you're in a swamp, and this cave should not be here with being in as wet as the land is and everything, and how high the water level is, and you're starting to see water just seep in and starting to just flow down. And so this tunnel is filling up, but you have no issues getting out. You get to the top, you open up you get up to the hatch and you get out, and as you look up, the tree has shriveled up. It's no longer colorful. It is decaying and it's falling apart, and you're able to make it out to the front of the resort. Or unless there's anything else you wanted to check out there while you were there, but you make it out or at least able to make it out to the front of the resort, and anything you see that once was infected seems to be dying. And with that, Simon, you will feel a tug on yourself that says, you need to get in your car, leave now.
Yeah, Theodore has the keys, so if everyone's acquiescing anyway to head out, well, I think it's time for us to hit the road. If you want to drive, Theodore. I'm going to strip off this disgusting coat.
Did you remember to get your jacket?
I think I ended up leaving it, honestly. Pretty sad about that. There's
You're going to run back in to grab it?
Can I make it back in from my Chesterfield?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
just right outside the entrance.
Then I will go get my Chesterfield overcoat, which is way too hot in the south to be wearing.
I don't know why you're wearing that down here anyway.
Well, I think the temperature right now would be... It's a little cooler since we are in October. It's not...
That's true.
But I will also say that, you did light on fire. I mean, you had a funeral pyre or whatever, and you threw a body on there while your jacket's been sitting in this whole time. So I imagine it's absorbed the smell of this smoked.
That's probably true.
Demon.
Yeah. So
I'll put like the edge of it, in the window, and roll the window up so we can just hang out the window and flap as we drive.
So as you get in the car, you're going to be you pass another car with you see 4 individuals.
The police
kind of looking at you. Yeah. They didn't have much luck on the driving, and they're heading up. And as
shoot out their tires as we drive by.
Well, as you're coming in, you are going to get to one of the first bridges that you crossed over to come into Knott's Haven, and you're going to notice that the water has risen significantly underneath the bridge.
Whoops.
And you're going to see in a lot of areas, water seems to be rising in this area. And as you look, you by the time you cross the bridge, water has engulfed it, and you see in other areas that the water level seems to be rising. And you just keep on driving, and you make it to Baton Rouge, where we'll just say that you probably find a place to stay. You'll look over some of your material. I'll tell you what you discovered in some of the material, but then you'll be booking a train to go off to your next destination. Well, that is the end of our session for tonight. Thank you for joining us here for Dungeon Brew. And if you have liked what you've seen, please like and subscribe. And also look at the other content we have on Dungeon Brew. And we'll see you next time as we continue this adventure. Thanks.
Dungeon Brew.
Greg has no idea. He's a sweet summer child who hasn't been exposed to such depravity.
7 more years, Greg, and you'll be doing nothing but watching old men tell comedy on YouTube just to get yourself to sleep at night.
Oh, that's true. We don't have